A real friend is one who walks in when the rest of the world walks out, by Walter Winchell. And that is particularly prescient with what's happening right now in the Democratic Party, because the mainstream media is not our friend. CNN, who we'll be talking about in this video, is now completely subservient to Donald Trump in the way that they report on his insanity of wanting to invade other countries. And also this influencer slash, we'll call her Democratic donor, Lindy Li, who you might know. She has 350,000 followers on X, and she is now attacking Biden and the Democratic Party on Fox News because she would rather kick us while we're down than help us get up. Here's part of what she said, and I'm going to show you how this is just insanity.
Lindy, that's a tough call. You're a Democrat, and yet I'm sure that there are a number of Democrats around the country that are saying, you know, as long as he is not forcefully leading, he is not leading. What say you?
Kevin, let's just be very honest what's happening here. The president has not been cognitively fit to assume the duties of the Oval Office for a number of years now, and it breaks my heart to say it, because I know President Biden, and I love the man, but he is in no shape or form able to carry out the duties that the commander-in-chief.
Lindy?
So that's Lindy Li, and like I said, she has over 350,000 followers, and many of you have probably followed her online or you have shared her content, and she was like the bluest of the blue Democrats. But as soon as Joe Biden and Kamala Harris no longer looked viable, she got out and has been besmirching Democrats and Joe Biden ever since. And just real quick on that, Lindy Li's statement there about how Joe Biden is not mentally sound. Well, there she is with Joe Biden. When was this? June 7th. Look at that, June 7th. And she says, I was with the president a few minutes after the debate. I'm going to move this over for you. I was with the president a few minutes after the debate. Here we are at his watch party. He was amazing and kind, as he always is, remembering tiny details about me and my family. I don't care what the pundits say about this great man. I will always be Team Biden. Yep. Always isn't as long as it used to be, Lindy Li? So pay attention because, by the way, she's blocked me. Pay attention because this is what the acquiescence of authoritarianism and fascism looks like. It looks like Lindy Li, a rich lady who goes on TV and talks down on Democrats and lifts up Trump in order to get into the good graces of him, I assume. I don't know for sure, but I do know that if she actually believed the set things that she believed in, she would not be leaving the Democratic Party. That's for sure. Nothing has changed with the Democrats between today and November. When was that election? November 4th, November 7th. So something about Lindy Li has always been constant. And the same thing is happening right now with our news media, where there's this overwhelming wanting to just comply to Trump, to normalize him. And here is the framing. This just drove me nuts. Midas Touch found this, and they said, here's how CNN is covering Donald Trump's threats against our allies, okay? Trump teases U.S. expansion. They frame it as an expansion. The president-elect has suggested a territorial extension into Panama, Greenland, and Canada. If he's serious, it would rival the Louisiana Purchase. Insane. I've got some reactions in a bit. This is the CNN homepage. It is the #1 story on the front page, so you know they want you to pay attention to it. And again, CNN wants you to pay attention to the story, but they're not taking it seriously. There are many different ways you could frame this. And to me, I think the most honest one is that this is a total deviation from the way that Donald Trump said he would run and be as president, is that he said that he was going to be a president that only focused on America. Well, he's now threatened Canada, Mexico, Greenland, and Panama. And I'm sure what other countries will he piss off before he even becomes inaugurated? But instead, they're trying to frame this as like a historic deal that we haven't seen since the Louisiana Purchase. It's insane, but it's also not without precedent, because Scott Dworkin from the Dworkin Report has shown that CNN has had a total switch in the way that they cover the news. CNN is running pro-Trump spin in a blatant attack on Democrats. So this is the way they framed an interview they had with Joe Manchin. Quote, Joe Manchin torches Democrats on the way out the door was one of them. Manchin didn't torch anyone. The second headline was, they're trying to mainstream the extreme. Manchin slams Democrats' shift on social issues. Again, he didn't slam anyone. And the third one, Manchin calls Democratic Party brand toxic over beers with CNN's Manu. The actual quote was, the D brand has been so maligned from the standpoint of it's toxic. So they took a word he said and said that he called the Democratic brand toxic. So CNN, just like Lindy Li, is not on the side of Democrats or democracy. They're on the side of this man. And we need to start paying attention to that. And we have to start making sure that we are not giving our eyeballs, which are really our dollars, to CNN, and making sure that they go to the way of the dodo. And here's some reactions to this headline. Brian Tyler Cohen, friend of the show, says, why does Trump need a press secretary when he's got CNN? Tim says, Democrats simply cannot compete with this asymmetric media coverage, and we were delusional to think we could. We're going to have to craft an entirely new path forward. And I completely agree. And that's why I'm so grateful that you all are listening or watching. I know a lot of you just listen, but are watching me or listening on here, because there's so many other places you could be right now. Truly an infinite amount of possibilities. And I am incredibly grateful that you trust me and you've given me the responsibility and you listen to me. And I do not take that lightly. And it's going to be so much more important these next 4 years, because with crap like this happening, we have to develop a media ecosystem that actually talks about the truth. Because as CNN is showing, they're incapable of reporting on it, and they actually might be trying to malign it. Dorian says, this, very pertinently, this does not inspire a lot of confidence. No, it does not, Dorian. Kat says, disgraceful CNN. It's almost as if they want, yes, it's almost as if they want World War III to start so they have something to write about. Well, my hope is that they'll have nothing to write about because no one will be paying attention to them. If anything this past election has shown is that independent media is just becoming stronger and stronger. And that's because Americans are sick of being told how to think and how to feel, and they just want someone to responsibly tell them what's happening. And that's what I intend to do here on this channel. So thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. If you made it to the end, leave me a blue heart so I know I do see them. I can't like them all because there's so many, but I do see them. And I will see you next time. See you soon.